Book of Heaven, Volume 7. The 8th of August to the 11th of September 1906. Page 27 to 31. August 8, 1906. How it is necessary to run without ever stopping. This morning blessed Jesus came for just a little, and since I was all tired because of his privation, he told me, "My daughter, in order for the soul to reach her central point, it is necessary that she run always, without ever stopping, because by running, her path will become smoother. And as she keeps going, the point which she must reach in order to find her center will be manifested to her. And along the way, the grace which is necessary to her journey will be administered to her, in such a way that, helped by grace, she will not feel the weight of her toiling, or of life. All the opposite for one who walks and stops. In fact, just by stopping, she will feel the tiredness of those steps which she has already taken, and will lose stamina for the journey. By not walking, she will not be able to see her point, which is a good most high, and will not be attracted to it. Not seeing her run, grace will not give itself in vain, and her life will become unbearable, because idleness produces boredom and bother. August 10, 1906. One contentment less on earth, one paradise more in heaven. Continuing in my usual state, I saw blessed Jesus for just a little, and he told me, "My daughter, for every slightest pleasure of which the soul deprives herself in this life for love of me, I will give her one more paradise in the next life." So, one contentment less here, one paradise more there. Imagine a bit how many privations you have suffered in these 20 years of bed because of me, and how many more paradises I will give you in heaven. On hearing this, I said, "My good, what are you saying? I feel honored and almost your debtor because you give me the occasion to be deprived for love of you, and you tell me that you will give me as many paradises?" And he added, "It is precisely so. Deo gratias." August 11, 1906. The cross is a treasure. Finding myself in my usual state, I saw my adorable Jesus with a cross in his hand, all full of white pearls. Giving it to me as gift, he placed it on my breast, and it sank into my heart as inside a room. Then he told me, "My daughter, the cross is a treasure, and the safest place in which to keep this valuable treasure is one's own soul. Or rather, it is a safe place when the soul is disposed to receive this treasure with patience, with resignation and with the other virtues, because the virtues are as many keys that secure it, so as not to spoil it or expose it to thieves. But if it does not find especially the gold key of patience, this treasure will find many thieves, who will steal it and spoil it." August 25, 1906. Self-interest and human sciences in priests. This morning, finding myself outside of myself, I seemed to see priests and prelates intent on their interests and on human sciences, which are not necessary for their state, with the addition of a spirit of rebellion against the authorities superior to them. All afflicted, our Lord told me, "My daughter, interest, human sciences, and everything that does not pertain to the priest, forms a second nature for him, muddy and rotten. And the works that come from him, even holy, are so stinking and I feel such nausea, that they are unbearable to me. Pray and repair for these offenses, for I can take no more." September 2, 1906. Luisa wants to do the accounts with Jesus. Jesus wants her to have no thought about herself. This morning, having to receive communion, I was prepared to make a day of retreat, that is, to prepare myself for death. And after I received communion, I said to blessed Jesus, "Let us do the accounts now, so as not to leave them for the last extreme of my life. I myself don't know how I am. I make no reflection over myself, and by not reflecting on it, I do not perceive myself, and so I feel neither fears, nor scruples, nor agitations, while I see that others, who are far more good than I am, and even the very lives of the saints which I read, they all reflect upon themselves. Whether they are cold or warm, whether tempted or calm, whether they confess well or badly, and almost all of them are shy, agitated and scrupulous. All my attention, instead, is on wanting you, on loving you, and on not offending you. As for the rest, I take nothing into account. It seems I have no time to think of anything else, and if I engage in doing it, an interior voice shakes me, scolds me, and says, "Do you want to waste time? Think of doing your things with God." Therefore, I myself do not know the state in which I am, whether I am cold, dry, or warm. And if anyone wanted an account of it, I certainly would not be able to do it. I think I did it wrong. So, let us do the accounts now, that I may remedy it. And after I prayed him over and over again, he said to me, "My daughter, I keep you always on my knees, and so tightly as to give you no time to think about yourself. I hold you like a father holds his little child on his knees. He gives him now a kiss, now a caress. Now he feeds him with his own hands, and now, if inadvertently the little child gets dirty, the father himself takes care of cleaning him. Now, if the father shows himself afflicted, the little one consoles him and dries his tears. If he shows himself irritated, the little one calms him. In sum, the father is the life of the little one and does not let him have the slightest thought about himself, whether he needs to eat, whether he gets dirty, whether he needs to clothe himself, and not even whether he needs to sleep, because, forming a cradle with his arms, he rocks him to make him fall asleep, and lets him sleep on his own lap. And the little one is all the relief and the life of the father, while the other grown-up children take care of reordering the house, of cleaning themselves by themselves, and of all the other affairs. So I do with you. I keep you on my knees like a little daughter, and so intimately united with me as to not let you feel yourself. I think and take care of all of you, cleaning you if you are stained, feeding you if you need food. In sum, I anticipate you in everything, in such a way that you yourself do not perceive your needs. And by holding you intimately tight to me, it is a grace that I give you, because you escape many, many defects, while if you had the thought of yourself, oh, into how many defects you would fall. Therefore, think of doing your office of little daughter toward me, and have no thought for anything else. September 11, 1906. Everything which is not done for the glory of God remains obscured. As I was in my usual state, I found myself with baby Jesus in my arms in the midst of many people, and he said to me, "My daughter, all the works, words and thoughts of creatures should be sealed with the mark, Gloriam Dei, Gloriam Dei. And everything which is not sealed with this mark remains obscured and as though buried in darkness, stained, or at the most, as something of no value." So, the creature does nothing other than pull out darkness and abominable things from herself, because by not operating for the glory of God, the creature runs away from the purpose for which she was created. She is as though lost from God, and left alone with herself. God alone is light, and it is through God that human actions acquire value. Now, what is the wonder if the creature, by not operating for His glory, remains buried in her own darkness, and gains nothing from her toils? On the contrary, she loads herself with heavy debts. To our great bitterness, we looked at all those people as though buried in darkness. In order to distract blessed Jesus from that bitterness, I would clasp him and kiss him, and almost wanting to play with him, I would say to him, "Say with me, I give such power to the prayer of this soul as to concede what she asks of me." But he would not listen to me, and I, wanting to force him to say it with me, would renew the kisses, the embraces, and would repeat, say it together with me," the same words written above. I did so much that it seemed he said them, and I found myself inside myself, surprised at my daringness and madness, and I felt ashamed of myself.